just being straight up transparent with the mission of bringing the house to those who can't make it to the house. I am super excited for tonight. I am joined by my better half, Pastor Charlisa,
Oh, that's nice.
and some of the matriarchs as far as marriage goes in this ministry. Our deacons who have been married for 42 years, which is
42.
like, it might not be a lot to some people, but to me, that's like, wow, I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. Me and Pastor Lisa have been married for less than 42 years. And to see, a couple that's been doing this thing for 42 years is like gold, right? Like something to look forward to. And that's no other than our deacons, Deacon Sylvester and Deacon Deb, or more affectionately known as Pop and Mom Deb. And I don't want to hold anything up. I want to jump right into it. We're talking about tonight godly marriage. Like what, in continuing with our relationship series that has been super phenomenal thus far, what is a godly marriage? Like what does it look like? More than what does it look like, what does it take to achieve and maintain? And I think, having a couple that's been married for 42 years, there's nobody better to ask those questions to and to really tug on the wisdom of what that looks like. So that's what we're going to jump into tonight. Pastor Lisa.
Yes, the attributes to having a good, healthy, godly marriage. It's fine. One of the things that I had thought of when I think of the question was ultimately wisdom. The text that I pulled that from was Genesis 3, the conversation between Satan or the serpent and Eve, that reads, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any animal of the field which the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, 'Yes, God has said, you shall not eat of any tree in the garden.' The woman said to the serpent, 'Of the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.' The serpent said to the woman, 'You surely won't die, for God knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.' When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eye, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit of it, and she ate it, and she gave some to her husband. She gave to her husband with her, and he ate it." So yeah, I never noticed that it said wisdom, because of course when the serpent first presented the option to her, it was just to be like God. But then when she had replied and had said it will make one wise, I never noticed that. And then even when you think about marriage, you definitely need wisdom. You need wisdom to guide through and to have a healthy marriage. Because I can definitely say and attest that if it wasn't for the Lord who was on my side, if it wasn't for wisdom, we would not be sitting here today.
All right. Talking about kids. She's talking about So, I guess my first question is, in line with that, outside of wisdom, what are other key components to obtaining and maintaining a healthy Christian marriage?
Okay. I think that, first of all, it's very important that you know that your marriage and the model of your marriage is as individual as the couple that is involved in it. So it made me laugh, honestly, when we were asked to do this, because I'm like, healthy? Are we healthy? Is that what we project? Okay, that's a good thing. But I think the most important thing within your marriage is your communication with each other and keeping God your focal point. For what works for us may not necessarily be the model that works for someone else. And I think that that's very important because as a society, we look at other people like, I want to be like that. I want to be like them. That looks good. Let's do what they do. But you don't know what it took for them, first of all, to be where they are, the struggles. And what I think for me that's important is that this wasn't or isn't 42 years of sunshine and roses and flowers and, you know, we weren't just hopping and skipping along the way and holding hands and everything was great. We had to grow. We had to make commitments to each other. We decided that there were things that were off the table.
Yeah.
So even in those times where, oh my God, I don't even want to be in the same room with this man today. We just knew that there were things that we were not going to do. So I think the most important thing to a healthy Christian marriage, first of all, is God-centered. And if it's God-centered, there are certain things that you are not going to do. And then your communication with each other, okay? And understanding the dynamics of the person that you're involved with, understanding what everybody brings to the table, and the family that everybody's coming from, because that is key. That is very important. But God-centered, God first, God first, God first.
Yeah, I agree with that. God first, and also communication, and you have to be able to, like our relationship, when we communicate, well, when she's trying to communicate with me, and I'll say, I hear you. And she would say, well, the walls can hear me, which is true. See, I'm growing with that now. It's not just.
Oh, it's not loud.
Oh, we're not loud. Oh, I can keep talking then.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. I can keep talking
But we
then.
can keep going.
We can keep going. We can keep going then.
This was a nice podcast. I'll see everybody on Sunday.
It's over.
Well, I just have a black screen. But
don't
I
even-
thought it was just my.
I don't even have a screen. Mine
I
didn't even
just-
come up. Because that's not it. That's not the screen. That's not even it. I can't. I pulled it off.
Why are you doing that?
Oh, that's why.